In today's lesson, we're going to be considering equations, and we're going to be looking at how we can solve equations that contain radicals. So let's take, for example, we had this question, which we can clearly see that it has radicals. So how can we solve this question? So the best thing that you'd need to do is to get rid of the square roots. So to do that, I'm going to move this one this side because I think it's going to be easier for me if I do that. So this side we're going to remain with this part, and here we're going to have 1 plus square root of x minus 1. I'm not saying you can't solve it when this one is this side, but you just have to be smart about it, because you find that it's a little easier to handle when we isolate one of the radicals to be just on one side and the other part on another side. It's easier for you to solve when you do that. So the next thing that we want to do is square both sides so that we can get rid of the square roots. So when we square the first side, what we're going to get is x plus 4. Simple. But what are we getting this other side? We know that when we square a plus b inside the brackets, what we get is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, like that. So we can think of 1 to be our a and this other part to be our b. So replacing in this formula that I've written here, we're going to get 1 plus 2, then 1, and the radical plus b squared is just basically squaring this, which will give us x minus 1. That, and from this you straight up see that this one and this one are going to cancel. And actually, if I were to move this x to the other side, would find that it would be a negative. Okay, so that means that if we had x plus 4 minus x, these two x's would cancel. So we can safely say this x and this x are cancelling out. So what will remain this side with is 4, and this 4 is going to be equal to 2 and the square root of x minus 1. That. So we can divide both sides by 2 so that we can cancel out the 2 and we remain with the 2 this side. So we can say square root of x minus 1 is equal to 2. Again, we need to get rid of the square root. So how we can do that is squaring both sides again. So what we have this side is x minus 1, and the other side we are going to have 4. And when we make this one jump this side, what we are getting is x to be equal to 5. And that's our answer. Let's try to do another question so that we can just try to build knowledge. So let's say you had the square root of x plus 6 is equal to x. Like I said, it's always a good idea to remain with one radical on one side of the equation. So for us to do that, we have to move 6 this side so that we can just remain with this radical. So what we're getting is x, the square root of x to be equal to x minus 6. then we square both sides, and this is going to give us x. And on the other side, remember that equation, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, if you memorize this equation, it's going to help you out a lot. So we'll take our a to be x and our b to be -6. So what we're going to get is x squared plus 2, and our a is x, then our b is -6 plus, and you have 6 squared. So here you are going to get x equal to x squared plus, actually it's going to be a minus 12x plus 36. Okay, so we need to move this one to this side so that we can remain with x squared minus 13x plus 36 is equal to 0. And we find that this resembles a quadratic equation, and we need to solve the quadratic equation. So I'm not going to show how you solve this quadratic equation just to save time and to shorten the video, but once you solve it, you're going to find that x is going to be equal to 4, or x is going to be equal to 9 as your final answers. Okay, let's try to look at the last question. What about if you had x, then 3 plus x to the power 1 over 3 minus 6 is equal to 0. What if you had this question? Okay, so to rewrite this question in a different way, find that this would be equal to minus 6. So the way we can solve this question is, if I take the lower version of it, we can say that we let u to be equal to this, and replacing u in this equation, what we're going to have is u squared plus u minus 6, letting u to be equal to the cube root. The cube root of x is the same as saying x is u is equal to x 1 over 3. Okay, so it's the same thing. So once you have that, what you need to do is to solve this quadratic equation, and when you solve it, find that we're going to end up with u to be equal to 3, or u to be equal to 2. Once you reach this stage, the next thing you want to do is to bring back this. Okay, so we're going to say, actually let me write it like this. We're going to say cube root of x is equal to 3, or cube root of x is equal to 2. Then to get rid of the cube root, we are going to multiply to the power 3, even here to the power 3, the power 3, the power 3. What you get here is x to be equal to actually I think I made a mistake. Okay. This one is supposed to have a negative. Okay, so we know we need to use the quadratic equation, which goes more like u to be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and replacing, we know that our b is just 1. Inside we have 1 squared minus 4. Our a is 1. Our c is negative 6 over 2. Our a is just 1. What we get is 1 plus or minus. Inside the square root, we're going to have, this is going to give us, it's going to give us 24. 24, positive 24 plus 1, and that's 25, dividing over 2, and this is giving us negative 1 plus or minus, you know, the square root of 5, 25 is 5, and by dividing by 2. Okay, so u is either negative 1 plus 5 over 2, or u is negative 1 minus 5 over 2. Here we'll get a 2, we are going to get a negative 3. Hence, u is equal to negative 3, or u is equal to. Now what we need to do is to bring back this part. Okay, so we have this and this, and to get rid of the cube root, we multiply to the power 3 on both sides. Okay, so what we're going to remain with is x to be equal to negative 27 and x this side to be equal to 8 as our answers. So that's how you go about solving equations that have that involve radicals. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can contact me using that number on the screen, then I may be able to assist you. All right, let's end the video here, and I'm going to see you in the next one.